Welcome to Adewale Adeniji, Nation, Heritage and Self. On this channel, we discuss national issues, Nigeria and Africa-centric, our heritage and culture, and of course, ourselves, how to make ourselves better in our personal and professional lives. Please go through our channel to watch our videos, and don't forget to like them and subscribe to this channel. If you click on the bell button beside the subscribe icon, you will get notifications each time we post a video. Enjoy today's video.
Hello, dear friends. Time for episode 6 of our series on emotional intelligence. In the last episode, we rounded off by considering what I call the 4 principles of emotional intelligence. And I remember mentioning that these 4 can be looked at from 2 angles, as it relates to you and as it relates to other people. Also, I hope you took the emotional intelligence test I recommended and you now know the emotional quotient. Those who have sent their results to us, I hope you are now working on the training systems that our staff have shared with you to improve your emotional quotient. Please keep working on improving your emotional quotient, because like I explained in the last episode, it has to do with our futures, how society relates with each other, making one generation better than the last generation. In this episode, however, we shall be exploring how the 4 principles of emotional intelligence can be developed as they relate to us individually and as they relate to our relationships with others. Now, today, emotional intelligence is broadly categorized into 3 main models: the ability model, the mixed model, and the trait model. But we'll be looking at just the first 2 models in some detail, that is the ability model and the mixed model. Because the trait model, the third model, is still in its research infancy, as it were, if you permit me to coin it that way. This is so because for now, the trait model is not based on any scientific parameters, but purely on an individual's evaluation of self. So let's look at the 2 models we want to discuss in detail: the ability model and the mixed model. For the ability model, this model was developed by Peter Salovey of Yale University and John Mayer of the University of New Hampshire. Remember that I mentioned them in episode 5 as the first to use the phrase emotional intelligence. Now, they define emotional intelligence as capacity to think about emotions and of emotions enhancing thinking. Capacity to think about emotions and of emotions enhancing thinking. Now, this model considers emotions to be an important source of information that helps an individual understand the world that they live in. And to do this, this model postulates 4 main abilities. The first ability is the ability to perceive emotions. Now, this is the capacity to decode emotions in things, in others, and in self. This is critical as it enables the processing of emotional information. The second postulation is that how you use emotions, using emotions, ability to tap into emotions to enhance cognitive functions like problem solving, creativity, and critical thinking. Don't forget that I had discussed in this series, in one of the episodes, that the prefrontal cortex is where we have the executive functions of the brain. Alright. So emotional intelligence enables anyone who possesses it to make the best of a situation based on emotions it generates. The third postulation is understanding emotions. Now, this relates to a person's capacity to understand the language of emotions. An individual with a high emotional intelligence is able to comprehend the emotional weight in every message. They understand the nuance of language in every message. As such people are proficient at detecting how emotions change in response to varying conditions. Whatever the condition is, they know what emotions are in play and how to read and understand it. The fourth postulation of this model is managing emotions. This is the capacity to regulate your emotions and to respond appropriately to the emotions of other people. Now, this regulation of emotion is so crucial that we are dedicating the whole of episode 7 to it. Make sure you do not miss that episode. Now, this ability model, as can be expected, has been hailed and criticized almost in equal measures about its effectiveness. This takes us to the other model we are discussing in some detail, which is the mixed model. This model is so called because it contains qualities of emotional intelligence and other personal traits that have no connection to emotion or to intelligence. Now, this model is based on the idea of Daniel Goleman, the idea of competences and skills which drive performance. Some of these are self-awareness, teamwork, motivation, service orientation, and initiative. Remember that I had discussed this in episode 5. If not, please do go back to that episode to refresh your memory. It is Goleman's position that emotional competencies are not inborn, they are not innate. Rather, they are abilities anyone can develop with enough practice and commitment. That is wonderful, isn't it? It means that anybody can work on it and develop it, and with enough practice and commitment, master it. That is wonderful. Now, Goleman proposed 5 categories where various emotional competencies fit. Now, these categories are: 1, self-awareness. We'll come across this phrase again. This is the ability to recognize your own emotional traits. A self-aware person has a strong sense of how to perceive and experience his emotions, helping him make informed decisions. Note, however, that to be self-aware, you have to be confident first. Confidence is the bedrock of self-awareness. The second is self-regulation. Now, this is the ability to rein in oneself. Logic disappears where emotions are involved. So it's enough for me to say that logic disappears when emotions are involved. So having self-regulation helps you to guard against undesirable decisions. Self-regulation also helps helps an individual take responsibility for his own action. So when you see anybody who is able to stand up to what they have done, that person has self-regulation and master and handle. The third one is motivation. And this is the ability to pursue set goals. A motivated person harbors a lot of positive thinking, eliminating all form of negativity. Even in the face of obstacles, a motivated person sticks to his goals. Such people also have the ability to always take the initiative in perpetual search for life improving tactics. They go from one initiative to the other. Those are people who are absolutely motivated. But the fourth one is empathy. Now, this is the ability to discern other people's emotions and to figure out the appropriate response. Alright, so the empathy part of it is the ability to discern other people's emotions and figure out the appropriate response. Being aware of and sensitive to the needs of others. An empathic person takes decisions aimed at connecting other people and building them up. The fifth one that Goldman postulates is social skills. And this is the ability to relate to one another, to other people, and to establish relationships. Some people are so adept at it. Throw them in a crowd, give them a few minutes, and voila, you will think they've been friends for a very long time. Now, to do this, a person with a high emotional intelligence utilizes tools such as collaboration, cooperation, influence, communication, conflict management, and bond building. As I mentioned, there is also the trait model, which we will not dwell on for the reason I had given earlier. But all you need to know is that this model postulates that emotional traits and emotional self-perception are ingrained in a person's personality, and therefore emotional intelligence for this model is how a person perceives his emotional abilities and behavior. My dear friends, as you can see, the discussed emotional intelligence model incorporates the essentials, the competences, and the principles of emotional intelligence that we have discussed both in this episode and in the previous episode 5. What I need all of us to take away is that these essentials, these competencies, these principles are what can be learned. That's amazing. These competencies, these principles, these essentials, you can learn them. This can be achieved when we are able to regulate our emotions, which is very key. And like I said before, that will be the topic of our next episode. So please tell your friends not to miss it, as I'm sure you will not miss it. Until that time, keep alive, keep safe, and remember, we love you. I am Adewale Adenuchi. Bye for now.